good. President Trump didn't want to honor that.
So I don't want it. I don't want Black History Month. I don't want all these days for it to make everybody feel special. I'm trying to roll out Megan Thee Stallion and Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. And everybody was trying to say, hey, black men, let's vote for this now. I mean, it's just, and I do not want to take down these statues and change the names of these buildings because they're a reminder of what was. And if we don't remember it, we are doomed to repeat. I am literally being judged not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. That's the progress because, like, a lot of white people had to vote for me. A lot.
Are you telling me you're black?
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Guys, let's get right into this segment. Have you heard? Black Republican congressman in Texas is surely enough proof that racism is over with. Check this out because there's a lot of garbage to clean up.
For Wesley, what was behind the rightward shift of black men toward Trump in the last election?
I think I touched on that a little bit. I think whenever you have a candidate like Kamala Harris that clearly was not the choice of the Democrat Party, when she got shoehorned into that space, and then you tried to roll out Megan Thee Stallion and Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, and everybody was trying to say, hey, black men, let's vote for this now. I mean, it just really didn't work.
Well, most of them still did.
Well, one in three black men. 1 in 3 black men in the state of Texas voted for President Trump.
Okay, well, that's men and in a state.
Well, I'm being very specific here because it does matter. We are seeing a seismic shift, and that's the most votes, the highest vote that we got in the Republican Party in the history.
No doubt about it. Trump did better.
Did he call her Megan Thee Stallion? Like, what the hell? I could understand Megan Thee Stallion. It's okay when they bring out Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock. No complaints there, right? They bring out Megan Thee Stallion, and oh dear Lord, a black artist performing. What are we gonna do? You think if Kamala brought out, I don't know, Nirvana? I know Kurt Cobain passed away, but you get my point. What would they say then? Oh, she's just pandering to white people. Just incredible.
With minorities across the board, each time he ran, including the time he lost.
Your thought? You can absolutely talk about that next.
Oh, come on. But, you know, he does want to, like, take, Trump is putting the Robert E. Lee name back on buildings. I mean, are you down with that?
So when I was at West Point, I actually lived in Robert E. Lee Barracks when I was there. And as I said,
Robert E. Lee went to West Point.
Yes, he did. That's why the barracks is named after him. And so my brother, sister, and I are matriculated through West Point. We all graduated. And I'll never forget walking under the threshold of Robert E. Lee Barracks and think to myself, damn, this is one hell of a country. Because only in America can someone like me walk into a building named after a Confederate general and then be a successful West Point graduate. If we start changing the names on buildings, then every single building would be named Jesus Christ based on perfection. Let's talk about where we have come from. Well, maybe not to you, but to us. Maybe not to you, but to us.
A lot of some of them would be Moses.
Depending on where you're at. I bring that up because I want to talk about the progress, and the idea of us changing names on buildings actually doesn't harken us back to times where they weren't as good.
And statues,
and how
too?
can we not? Oh, my wife is, I've been black my whole life.
Yes.
So far, still. My wife is white, and we have 3 biracial children, and I cannot wait to show them and take them to places that wasn't always the case. There was a time when your mother and daddy could not be married. My children are going to have the opportunity to be second lining down in New Orleans, and then my wife is from Iowa. They'll be on a farm with their grandfather in Iowa. That is America, and I do not want to take down these statues and change the names of these buildings because they're a reminder of what was, and if we don't remember it, we are doomed to repeat it.
Your party wants to repeat it. That's why they want the statues up so bad. So should Germany put up statues of Hitler? Because this is the only way you can remember what happened in the past. And he talks about this, remembering what happened in the past, as Republicans, along with Trump, defund African-American history exhibits, reteaching slavery to make it seem like it wasn't that bad, getting rid of pictures of historical black figures from the White House. I mean, come on. White nationalism history with their Confederate statues is okay, but no black history, right? How dare he sit there and say this with such confidence and bringing up ancestors? Your ancestors would be embarrassed of you, let me tell you.
So there's a reason for it, I see. What did you think of Whoopi Goldberg saying, it's worse to be a black person in America today than a woman in Iran. You know, I see we were talking about the trans issue before, and the New York Times really has come over on that to the sort of the sensible, liberal, not crazy woke position. I think this is a great first step toward getting the Democrats back to sanity. And a second good step would be, we got to do something about The View. I really believe that. I mean, could you just
It's huge in Iran, though.
You know, when I
imagine The View in Iran, all with the same
happen.
head cover. You can't even tell which one is which.
My district in the great state of Texas is actually a white majority district that President Trump would have won by 25 points. As I said, I'm a direct descendant of a slave. My great-great-grandfather was born on a Rosedale plantation. I am literally being judged not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. That's the progress, because, like, a lot of white people had to vote for me. A lot.
So wait,
I don't even ever want to hear Whoopi Goldberg's conversation about how it's worse to be black in America right now. That's a bit far. And my father, who's 75 years old, he was a man that was in the French quarters that had to go get a sandwich to the back door of the building. And his son is now a United States congressman in a white majority district in Texas as a Republican. That is America. That's America.
This is the argument Republicans always make. I said there was a lot of stuff to clean up in this video. He's just saying it in a different way. Oh, there isn't any racism. Look at me. I'm a black Republican. How would that be possible? I can tell you how. If you are okay with the cruelty and willing to join in on it, and anything that may harm people of color, which is one of their staples, they will be more than happy to use you. In fact, I think those sick bastards prefer it that way. They obviously see it as more effective. They can say things like, oh, look, we have a black Republican. Now, can you stop calling us racist? And I've only seen Wesley Hunt speak on a panel once before with Byron Donald. Actually, where is Byron Donald? Like, you know, the guy who went when Trump was elected said, Daddy's back? Not kidding. DJ, play that track.
When they see peace starting to like break out again around the world, they're going to be like, this is the stability that we were asking for. Daddy's back. And that's what you're going to see.
So you just touched on it. Is tomorrow.
Remember, these are the alpha males that Republicans so badly want us to believe they are. Where is Byron? Anyone seen him? Timmy? Where's Tim Scott? They were used heavily in the campaign. Now where they at? No cabinet positions, nothing. I don't hear nada from them. They were pushed to the side like the useful pawns they were. They are.
Let's celebrate that. Yes. And one of the ways we celebrate it is Juneteenth. That's a Texas holiday. It began in Texas in Galveston.
Galveston,
General
right?
Granger
Galveston,
came
Texas.
and read the order number 3 that finally abolished slavery months after the war, because the war took a time to get to Galveston. We celebrated that when I was a kid in Texas, but it becomes national a year or two ago, and Donald Trump doesn't want to celebrate that. To me, it's exactly what you're talking about.
So,
it's 600,000 people died so that we wouldn't enslave people anymore, and the fact that freedom won is a good thing, and we should honor that. That's what Juneteenth's about. And I don't know why President Trump doesn't want to honor that.
So I don't want it. I don't want Black History Month. I don't want all these days for it to make everybody feel special. I'm an 80s baby. Everybody's too sensitive anyway. We're all Americans anyway. This holiday
That's what Morgan Freeman said.
Morgan Freeman, I can't agree more with him.
Yeah, he said that to Mike Wallace. He said, you know, I'm an American. Do you want to be called a Jew American, Mike?
No.
White people celebrate Juneteenth too, and non-Italians celebrate Columbus Day. And
I'm all for any holiday.
I'm half Irish. Do I get half the day off on St. Patrick's Day?
But a lot of
I get half drunk.
everybody gets drunk on St. Patrick's Day. That's a good.
He just said we need to remember our past. That's why he wants the Confederate statues to be up. But Black History Month is about the past and historical black figures. And come on, you have to be much more aggressive than that. He's ready for these kinds of questions. You need to make it much more personal. You need to trick him into siding with you before he even knows what he sided with. You can say something like, hey, do you agree that illegal immigrants, which is the word Republicans like to use, so use that word specifically, do they tend to be some of the lower wage earners, and even in a lot of cases exploited to the point of not getting paid at all, and even below minimum wage, which of course he would agree, because everyone know illegal immigrants aren't high wage earners? Then you say, so Why did Trump say illegal immigrant jobs are actually black jobs? What did he mean by that? I mean, there's example after example, but this one to me is just very easy to understand what he was saying with no shadow of a doubt as to what that vile racist meant.
Did you have a question for the congressman there?
No, are you telling me you're black?
Yes.
You don't see color, right?
We don't see
Unbelievable. All right, one more. This is for you, Dave. What do you make of the Lakers selling for a record $10 billion, the highest price ever paid for a pro?
All right, that's a different segment, but guys, let me know in the comments. If you rewind a little bit, he looked like he wasn't happy to answer that he was indeed a black man. Almost looked like he isn't happy about it. And I just want to say something. As a Hispanic, I know a lot of Hispanics are racist themselves. That's the damn truth. And they just don't talk about it, except in Spanish, if you really want to get real. Yes, even those of my skin color are racist to black people without realizing the insane irony that's present. But besides the point, I just don't understand how a party who so clearly hates black and brown people, can you look at your life, look in the mirror as a black man and say, yes, I want to be a Republican? It just has to be the money. The only other reason I can think of is a level of self-hate or delusion, to be honest, like a Candace Owens type. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. I know I said a lot in this video, but there was just so much garbage being said and no one saying anything about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I try to read as much as I can of them. They're getting to be too much now to read all of them. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.